Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Reactive Entrepreneur, the show where we combine the business world with the coding world in the hope to help you by explaining our journey, the things that we've learned along the way, and how we react to all the different problems that we have faced. So enjoy the show. And yeah, today we've got a pretty exciting episode. It's me and Jay are basically breaking down everything that we've faced to go from an idea, so a conceptual idea,
literally,
all the way up until a six-figure business where honestly it's just growing at a pace where we're just trying to figure it out daily. So Jay, welcome to the show again. I think everyone's happy to have you back.
I'm back again as usual.
I mean, Jay's basically a co-host, so it's really, you're going to be here all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we've got a longer format today, so that way we can have a chat. We can kind of really dive into some of the topics, and we want to make it more of a situation where we do this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we basically have these chats all the time, but I'd love for us to actually get this captured on an episode, so that way a lot of people can learn from it, they can benefit from it, and then that way they can sort of take something away from it in our journey.
Yeah, because a lot of people ask a lot of questions like, how did you do this? How did you start off with the PAPAFAM? How did you overcome certain challenges?
Exactly.
So it'll be good to tell them exactly how we did it.
Yeah. And I don't think we've ever gone in depth to the point. We did it on the audio podcast, but it's not the same.
No, that was more like just an experience. This will be more like even learning. Away from it. Yeah.
Exactly. So in the previous episodes, we've talked about our journey, how we met, all that kind of stuff. So we basically, in a short summary, we met at uni. Funny story, through plagiarism. I never copied anything in my life, but anyway, it's a funny story. Jay owned up. I rated the guy after that. But long story short, we studied together. We found that we were really able to work well together.
Yeah. I remember how we did the exam prep together.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. We had we just had to figure out ways of, both of us, I think you're more disciplined in the area of you can focus longer in a certain task.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more...
He's more like fidgety. Like, I'm doing one, Sonny's thinking one idea, and then the next thing is some other idea.
Yeah.
And then some other thing.
It's constantly like something new, changing. So like we balance each other very well in that sense. So I think first note is trying to sometimes take the journey on alone isn't always the best route. In this situation, we actually found a way, and we didn't even know at this point that we were ever going to go into business together.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
We just said it as friends, like, hey, we'll work together in the future. And then it never happens. Actually, it never happens. We just say, we'll do something together, blah, blah, and we forget it, and we just move on with our lives.
Exactly.
But this time, it actually just clicked and happened.
Yeah, because we said it. We always said, like, we had let's talk about our little ritual that we had. So we would study in our hundreds of different ways. We'd have notes on the walls everywhere. And then we'd finally go to the exams and the reason why we're explaining this is because there's a really good point here to this, right?
Yeah, it's not nerdy. It's not geeky.
Yeah, it's not geeky.
You're not geeky,
But there's a real good point to this because we would do all of this. We would be so prepped. We'd be like literally ready for this thing. Like when a test came our way or a challenge, we'd be like done. Like we were the most confident going into that exam. We had a rule: just don't talk to anyone.
Don't talk to anybody.
Yeah, don't talk to anyone
before the exam and after the exam. Don't talk to anyone. Just come out the exam hall, look at each other, and give us that look like, okay, it was good. All right, move on.
We both knew, and at that point we both knew. We were like, we done it. We handled that. We didn't have to talk about it. We were like, next exam.
Next exam.
And I remember when people would come to us, what did you say for this? What did you do for that? And we were like, just leave it and out. And then we confirmed our theory because we were like 90 plus average. Like we smashed
both first class.
Both first class. We killed that. So from that, we then would celebrate the wins, right? So every time, me and Jay had a ritual where we would do all this crazy amount of work. And I mean, we really did put in a lot of work. Even now, running a business, it's a different kind of work because I didn't want to sit and study for hours on end, right?
Same.
Business can be fun.
We used to study from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, man. It was literally like all day. And it's not fun stuff. Like you're grinding it out. And the sad reality is that we don't use all that stuff today. Yeah. Let's be real. Like, it's cool to know, but we don't really use all of it today, right? But we would do all of that. Then we would come out and we'd be like, even once we've submitted something, whatever the case, and we'd be like, right, let's do our traditional routine of we'd order a cheeky Indian takeaway. That was like our home run.
I love the Indian takeaway.
Honestly, it was like we used to be in Kent University and that would be our thing. Like, and we would literally not eat Indian until that time. Yeah.
Just to feel grateful for the food that is.
And there would be a feast, like a mega feast.
And so much food.
Yeah. So like the main thing, I think, if you really look back to that moment, it was kind of a defining factor because now our situation really ain't no different.
Yeah.
In the sense of We work really hard. We find ways to balance each other out. Agreed. We find ways to not like where I'm overstressing or I'm hearing external stimulus and I'm going off track, you'll pull me in. Yeah. When you're kind of, like doing the same, I'll pull you in and so forth. But we always try and find room to celebrate in our own way. And now we go to, like an old spot in Dubai where it's literally none of the fancy stuff that you see. It's a place called Karachi Daba, and that's it.
The food there.
That's our treat.
It's not the fanciest place. It's not the best Indian place, but still for us,
that's the celebration of like, okay, we're doing our thing. Yeah, like we're putting in the work. We're doing the time and effort.
Makes us go back to the roots of that Indian takeaway.
Exactly. So go for it.
Yeah, but after we did that uni stuff, and then you had jobs, and I had jobs as well, and we both went to our job route, and that's when we like gone from different parts. And after that, what was the time when it clicked that you have to do this? Like take a step into opening your own Zero Full Stack Hero.
So for me, it was always grounded in me. I knew that some way or another, I had to work for myself. Yeah. I think it came from two aspects of it. One, my dad was always working for himself. And one, my mum was always working so hard that it would never be enough in a single job to match how hard I saw my mum work.
Agreed.
So she'd be taking on like 3 jobs when it was a single parent household at the time. She'd be taking on 3 jobs. She'd be doing everything. And I was like, one job will never give me this much work. And I just felt this responsibility that I have to put in this much, if not more effort, like to be able to give back. So for that, I thought the only way is to start my own thing and put myself in those situations where challenge is max all the time. So I always knew that there was going to be a company. I always knew that there was going to be something. There was a startup that I did in the beginning. Some of the followers may know, some of the members I would say will know this. Yeah. But I had a QR code scanning app. So you would go to the restaurant, scan a QR code. Now it's huge. But at the time,
it wasn't.
It was before COVID. It was too early for market and that failed. But I wouldn't say it was failure because we learned so much in the process. So I knew from these little things I was doing all the time that it was eventually going to lead to some form of business. So
just at the wrong time.
Yeah.
It just happened at the wrong
time. Timing was wrong. Yeah. And plus I was very I was junior in the sense of my mindset was like, we've hit a hurdle. All right, we can try and take another. And it was me and 2 other guys. But I was very much like, I don't know what. I was like, maybe it's just not a good idea. And I kind of gave up a bit on it, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't the first hurdle I just gave up. It was, no, we faced so many different things. We'd launch in our first ever restaurant, which we did, a place called Nanny Bill's in Hackney.
Okay.
And the company was called Tipple.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I would be at my day job. Then straight after my day job, like as a developer, I'd go to Hackney. Oh. And Hackney's not the safest place in London, right? Like you can get stabbed if you don't know where you're going. You go down the dodge. Yeah. And I'd go there with my bloody laptop, my bags, everything. Yeah. Oh, God. And I'd go to some small place, and Annie Bill's was like a food vendor inside a club or like a restaurant. I went in there. I remember, I'll never forget, the 3 of us sit down at a table. And we're all sitting there, and the app is live. I can see an iPad, my own home iPad, was in their kitchen, placing and people were scanning, placing orders. And I'm looking on the back on my laptop. I'm literally like a customer at the restaurant, right? And we're sitting there, and the main guy is looking over and like, all good? I'm like, I hope so. I hope so.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, and exactly. And at the time, looking back now with the skill I know about coding now, man, that was like... That code was barely standing up. It was bare, but it did the job, right? And that's my point to everyone is don't hyper obsess over I'm not a master at this thing. I can't start this thing. Because me at the time, I was just hacking it together. I didn't know how to do payments. I didn't know how to do this. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to handle Stripe. I didn't know how to handle a backend database like Firebase. No idea how to do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you just slowly piece it together because you're pressured in that environment, right? So then it would anyway, that company didn't work out in the end, right? We ended up parting our ways, but it was an amazing experience, learned a lot. Then obviously you go down the job route, you do a different thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously the moment where we clicked path again was when I decided to I was still working for somebody at the time in a startup company, but I was on YouTube on Clever Programmer's channel.
Yeah.
And at that point, I remember you reached out saying, what did you say?
So basically, I was also working that time, but then I had left my job.
Yeah,
and it was a good job. It was paying me well. It was a really good job. But I just left it because I felt the 9 to 5 grind, sort of like it was a 7 to 2 grind, but still it was like I was just like every day I'm doing the same thing, and it's
and what job? What job were you doing?
So I was working in Ministry of Education as a teacher trainer.
Yeah,
and it was good. It was so easy. It was like comfortable. I could just live at that job. The pay was good. I was enjoying it. But just the everyday same thing boredom catches up to you, and it's just creeping onto you like, oh, you're doing the same thing every day. This is my whole life?
That's the killer.
Is this my whole life? Like the same thing? And then I was like, oh man, no, I need to do something else. And then I see you on CP's channel.
Yeah.
And I saw one of your videos with on CP's channel where you're making a clone of I think Discord.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, Sunny is actually on YouTube. Shit, I have to call him up.
Yeah.
So I was like, then I remember commenting on the video saying, Sunny, that's awesome, man. Like you're doing this stuff. Like I knew you were a good coder anyway since uni. So I was like, okay, good. He's like doing it on YouTube now. Perfect. Like, because I always knew you like to help people, because even uni, you helped so many people. I won't name who all people you help, but yeah, Sunny is a reason why so many people got their degrees as well. So.
It's actually very true.
So there are people out there who are working just because of Sunny. So.
That's why I don't rate just degrees. It's more than a degree.
It's more than a degree. Yeah. So I called him up and I was like, dude, this is amazing. Why are you why don't you do something on your own? Like, why don't you? And then so he's like, yeah, I am actually in the works of it. So I think that's what ignited the idea of doing this together.
I'll never forget, because I was on a walk and I remember that exact conversation with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was taking a walk trying to get some fresh air. Yeah. And I remember we had that conversation and you were like, you were like, dude, why don't you just start your own?
Yeah.
Like, because like you're putting in so much energy, so much effort. You can do your own thing. And at the time I was like, but, and I was making the excuses up in my head of like, but. And that's something that you have to, again, it helps when you have someone else in the picture, right? So ever since you said that on that walk, it planted a bit of a seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll never forget is I went back home and I was like, you know what? Like I remember waking up one day and I'll never forget this day. I walked into my mom's room at the time and I said to her, I was like, look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just quit everything and just go all in on my own channel. Yeah.
That is powerful, man.
Yeah.
Now many people have the balls to do that.
Yeah. It was it was scary though. It was so scary.
So
like, as in,
man.
But the thing is, it wasn't just fear. It was like this like, when you know you're in the right direction, you have this energy that naturally comes. Yeah. So like, yes, it's excitement, it's motivation, but don't get me wrong. Like there is fear behind that, because like at the time I wasn't the smartest with money. I was just literally, I was living this lifestyle of paycheck to paycheck. I was just blowing it. I was in London. I was, like you're drinking, you're doing this, you're that, you're out.
Eating
Yeah, you're eating, literally, you're spending it. Like you're eating your money away, right? Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I know I've got something coming. So let me just shift aside some money. And I had like 2 months. Like 2 months to genuinely.
I remember telling you that in August. So September, October, something of that. So and December is when we actually the launch happened. So it was 2 months ago. Yeah, you're right.
It was 2 months. And I remember saying to you, I was like, Jay, and then I remember I had that when I said that to my mom, was like, look, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like the worst thing that ever is going to happen is you're going to have regret. Yeah. And that regret will kill you. Yeah. Because you can't. Doesn't matter if you're a billionaire, you ain't gonna go like pay some magic genie to be like, give me 5 years back. True. You'll never get that time back. So take the damn jump. True. What's the what? I see so many people in good situations, and you have what is the worst thing that's gonna happen, right? Like you fail, so what? You learn something. You probably learned more in that failure than you would have by never doing the damn thing in the first place.
Never trying it in the first place.
Exactly.
And that's what I think my situation would relate to many people, where I had a chance of actually working with you on this thing, or I had a chance to take a better paying job than what this would pay out in the beginning, obviously. Yeah. So I was also thinking, I was like, man, the job will give me instant gratification, would give me security, would give me this, would give me that, and then this is a risk. Do I take this risk? And I was like, 100%, I'll take this risk. And I even told my mom about it, and she also does freelancing and stuff, so she's into this stuff. So she's like, what's the worst that could happen? You take this, you fail, there's another job out there every time. Yeah. But this opportunity is not there every time.
Yeah.
There's opportunities only once. Job applications are hundreds.
Yeah, exactly. And to give context to the whole situation, that's when I asked Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had, this is when you left ministry.
Yeah.
And you were basically debating between, you had job offers lined up.
Yeah, lined up, yeah.
And you had,
work with you.
Yeah, you had very good pay from those offers, right? And then I remember that's the exact moment, and this is where the universe is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
The exact moment where I was like, Jay, I know you're looking right now, but I have a spot. And bear in mind, guys.
But I told you before anyway, like, I'll work with you for free or whatever, but it's just going to be like, I'll help you out, that sort of thing. I was never like, okay, I'm 100% in this, like, committed all my efforts in this. Then I thought, man, that's useless. I want everything committed in one place. I don't want to half this, half that.
Yeah. But the thing is, right, even in that decision, like when I came to you, bear in mind, I'm just a normal person at this point. I'm not CEO Sonny. I'm not this Sonny. I'm not like, I've never had a team like that I'm paying.
Or even the experience of the business.
Yeah, I've never had that true responsibility. As in, I had freelancing, I had clients, but that's all solo. Yeah. When you have a team, it's a different story. When you have responsibilities that you're now paying salaries, you're now paying this, you're now paying that, all this kind of insurances that you have to put in play, that is different. That's a whole nother level of responsibility. Baby. So I remember when I came to you and I thought, you know what, let me just be honest. Let me just tell Jay, I know you're going to get paid more from these other places, but just, I know there's something here. And I said to you, I was like, give me 7 days. Yeah. And I think it was the 23rd of December. Yeah. And I said, give me 7 days, man. And as I can't pay you yet, but as soon as we launch, I will be able to pay you. Yeah. And that's what she wrote. You signed up,
Yeah. And I still remember seeing that message in the morning. I woke up and I saw your message. I'm like, you sent me that message. And I was like, man, shit, this is a big step. Like, I should decide here. Yeah. And then I told you straight up, like, yeah, fine, I'm in. Yeah. And then
I couldn't believe it when you
yeah. Because for me, I was like, man, I'm getting rid of all the job offers which were good at that time, and then I was like, I'm taking a risk here. I'm like, it's worth the risk 100% because now I'm already ahead of all of that. Like now where I'm at with you and this whole business and everything, it's the best decision because the job offers would have never got me here.
That's one thing I feel really great, like happy about, is that we managed to, and obviously we'll talk about the whole journey whole journey, but as in how we supported each other, built up to a point where now, like you said, no other offer would give us what we have. In the terms of financial support, in terms of, honestly, the financial support, given, we can support ourselves now bigger than we could have by a job offer. But it's the learning. The amount of stuff we have learned and continue to learn every day. I think it's fair to say we are stretching our capacity for learning.
And we learn something new every day, something new. We're trying out something new. We're doing something new. Yeah. I swear.
It's crazy. And then the thing is, like, so let's dive into, so we've launched this course, which is supported things.
Yeah, but wait, how did we launch the course?
Okay, all right.
That's what people want to know.
Okay. So how did, explain, you mean in the tech stack or like how?
Oh, no, just literally. Like, generally, like how would you start? Like,
so this is where I'm at. We're about to launch, right? We got 7 days. In my head, I'm
No, let's go even before, like the whole prep and everything.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean, right? Yeah, so imagine because at that point, I'm like, all right, so you mean the Google Doc?
Yeah, the prep happened a month before, right?
Yeah. So so the prep was basically where we sat down, we agreed that, we're going to do this. And this
because you had experience before, kind of on all this course and stuff. So you kind of knew exactly what tech to use. Yeah. Exactly what sort of pricing structure to do and all of that thing. So you had an upper edge on that. And I was learning that time. I was like, okay, fine. Oh, I was like, Sonny knows so much shit. I have to cover up. I have to catch up. Yeah. And then you came up with the name of React to Full Stack Hero.
No, it was Zero to React Hero.
Oh, Zero to React Hero. Yeah. And then I told you that don't do React. We just don't want to focus on React. Do full stack. Yeah. So it was Zero to Full Stack Hero.
And I remember
that's how the name came.
Yeah, and I remember it just stuck. And then from that moment, we were both on a Google Doc and we just put it at the top, Zero to Full Stack Hero. Yeah. And we were like, so this is it. This is going to be and it's such a sick, cool story because it literally was like that tell story, that like honestly, you could write a book about the way it started because it was like a Google Doc. And then we sat there and we're like, so now what? And then we just I guess we should start writing the outline of the course. Yeah. And we just started literally saying, okay, we're going to teach this. We're going to teach this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And then from that, we're like, all right, so now we've got the course outline. So that's when I introduced you to the world of Kajabi.
Yeah.
So Kajabi is, I had experience from this before, being a clever programmer, how we launched the course. And we also tried loads of stuff over there, right? So we were trying all these different tech, software. Kajabi is a major like key in the whole like setup where
it's a skeleton of the business. Basically.
Yeah, it's a skeleton.
Holds the whole thing.
And all I can do is shout praises to that company because they are incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, at growth. And we've seen them add new features on as we've grown as well. And no joke, they've simplified so much because now we can do all of our management of, you know, who like visits the page, to who we send emails to who buys the course, to our course itself, to hosting videos, all of it, payments, you know, handling refund, every single aspect of this business
is done through Kajabi.
Is through Kajabi, right? So Jay had no idea what Kajabi was.
Oh my God. I was like, when you got me and I'm like, Jay, we have to use Kajabi. I was like, okay, fine, we have to use Kajabi. All right. What the hell is Kajabi?
Yeah.
And I'm also daunted by emails and all that because I've not done marketing before.
Yeah.
I was more into the programming side. And then now I realize that in this one, I have to do marketing. I have to do, it's a lot of different things, like, you know, tons of different aspects to do, like, you know, manage this and do that and then handle community, that sort of. But in terms of the Kajabi thing, the whole setup took a lot of time.
Yeah, so it took a lot of time, but I think the crazy part here is that I was genuinely saying I am impressed with how quickly you took it on because it was not, and I want everyone to know this, right? It was not a situation of me sitting down giving Jay, so Jay, here's what you got to do and click this button and this button. It was deep end. It was full on. I was giving Jay a breakdown of this is what you call a funnel, and this is how you basically attract loads of people to an event.
Pipelines.
And this is how you know, like, and at the time, I'll be honest, I wasn't a guru at marketing. Right? Like, I just knew roughly how we can attract a lot of people in. And the whole point of this is, we were trying to build a business from this. So we're trying to build something because that way we can launch the YouTube channel, we can support it. Yeah. And the whole point here is we're not trying to just make money. It's because we want to do YouTube full time, but we need a sustainable way to grow something to support the YouTube journey.
And help people in the process.
And the whole thing is wrapped around helping people, right? Yeah. So,
because when we were planning the course, I still remember we said that there has to be some live interaction with you and the audience, being the coaching calls, which is imperative. That would justify the price tag. Yeah. Because,
So in Zero to Full Stack Hero, we have the weekly calls.
Yeah, the weekly calls. They get updated and every week there's content. Every week there's content. And that was 2 years ago. And now there's like insane amount of content. So those coaching calls really helped a lot of people. Yeah. A lot. So it's glad we added that in. And it's just not a Udemy course, which is, you know, just have the lessons which are outdated already.
Exactly. And I wish I remember the name of someone who gave, like, I think it was I've probably messing this up, but the name was Louise Cesar or something like that, right? Okay. But anyway, it was this woman entrepreneur, and her idea was, and I remember I told you this in the beginning when we were prepping, her idea was, you don't have to have the entire course ready when you launch, right? Yeah. And
I asked you that as well.
Yeah, because we had 7 days, right? Yeah. And I had some content. I already had like a few basic tutorials and a few like videos and stuff. So I already packed out a lot of the content inside. But compared to now where we're at, oh my God, it's miles apart, right now. And what we did was, our model was basically, we were selling on the basis of two things. One, trust in me as a mentor, which people already had from seeing me on YouTube.
Exactly.
Right. So that's something which can't be overlooked, right? There was some more like kind of credibility there. Yeah. And number two was on the basis that by selling a course, which we're saying, here's what's ready now, and here's what you're going to get from every week from now on. And then over time, the course will just get exponentially bigger. Like you're just going to see so much stuff.
It's like log chart.
And it's true. Like, honestly, without realizing, I'm like, oh my God, Jay, there's like over hundreds of hours of content now in this course.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It's insane. And it's not like just filler content. It's like literally content that'll help people and teach something new.
Exactly.
Every time.
Exactly.
It's not just filler content, the same thing over and over. It's different
stuff. And repetition is just constantly diving in. Yeah. Now, the big thing here was, okay, so you, if you, like, I'll come back to the main bit here, but when you launch the course and you sell an offer like that, what you're now doing is you're holding accountability. So basically, you've said to everyone, you give me your trust, and basically that's buying the course. And with that, now I'm going to have to deliver on what I said I'll deliver on. And what that does is it like we talk about this a lot where you want to put yourself in that stressful situation. Now you've cornered yourself in this situation where you have to, right? There's no like, I'm feeling lazy today. I don't want to wake up.
No ifs and buts.
Yeah, like you're like, people have paid money to trust me. And even putting the money aside, they've trusted you to that level where now you have to deliver on it. And that was an amazing system I think we went with. I think that was a very good driving factor in how we worked the way we worked.
True.
And also just committing to a deadline. We called it Project X.
Yeah, we did.
And we basically said and we started pre-hyping. So we would drop emails to the audience. We would sort of, on Instagram.
Even when we were doing that, we'd make the web pages being made on the side, getting testimonials from people.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Well, and then handling Kajabi itself, we're making the courses, of uploading the videos there, adding text to it, setting up Kajabi itself. It's a big thing that you have to just grind it out.
Yeah. Imagine like at the point, if we look back to when we actually did this, me and you were on a call. So bear in mind, at the time, we're not even in person. Jay's in Dubai, I was in London.
You're London,
Yeah. On the call, and the time zone's different. So Jay would be working crazy late. I'll be waking up early sometimes. And we'd be doing, so I'll be like, Jay, you're adding the outline of the course and adding these. And then Jay's like, Sonny, we need logos for X, Y, Z. While Jay's doing that,
you're making the logos on Photoshop.
I'm setting up the logos, setting up the Instagram posts, setting up everything else that we're doing.
Is these small tasks that take up a lot of time that people don't realize?
Yeah. That we must have designed, I kid you not, it was like 30 or 40 logos.
Because we made for coaching calls separate logos. We had for the Zero to Full Stack all variants for the each payments, platinum, diamond.
Yeah.
That time we even had gold and silver, which is now discontinued.
Like, figuring out our pricing structure. Yeah. Like, then no one comes with you saying, here's the golden pricing structure, right? Yeah. We made mistakes. Like,
Our pricing structure changed a lot since the beginning. And now I think it's found perfect, at least the most applicable middle ground, I feel.
Let's touch on that, and then we'll come back to So we'll take a little pause here. Okay. But when we're in the planning stage and we're doing the pricing, right? Okay. Pricing is gold. It's a very hard topic to master, right?
Very hard.
In the beginning, that conversation. Let's be real about it because I want to be transparent as hell with people here. Okay. That topic right now, we had no idea how to price in the beginning. The only way we knew how to price it was other courses, but I would disagree with because every other course, man, you go on Udemy is $9.99 for like 500 hours of stuff. No one's going to watch it. As in that's the truth. That's reality. Instead, I was doing coaching before and I knew that, okay, this many people trust me. This many people pay this rate for X, Y, Z. So I was like, okay, with that in mind, now, if I'm giving up this much time and it's going to be a lifelong setup, right? So they're going to get access to a permanent course with a community. Let's think of all the value propositions we can add in. So the community access, the coaching course.
That's when we came up with all the features.
Yeah, exactly. So you see how this is a full circle, right? Where all these conversations start going on that Google Doc. Yeah. And that Google Doc became this massive. Oh, yeah.
We still have that.
Yeah, we still have the Google Doc. It's crazy. Maybe one day we'll share that.
That.
We're thinking of making like a sort of a kind of masterclass in teaching somebody how to launch their thing. There could be a cool little artifact in there. Yeah. And I remember when we did all that, right? So we decided, okay, we had 4 pricing
structures,
tiers in the beginning. So we had like sort of the gold, silver, platinum, diamond.
Yeah.
And biggest lesson we learned from that is what? Like,
oh my God.
Go on, you just I don't want to be the first biased view here. So what was your take on it when we launched on that?
The platinum, diamond, gold, and silver. Firstly, there were a lot of it. So people were kind of confused, like, oh my God, which one do I go for? Which one? And the biggest problem causing ones were the silver and the gold.
Yeah.
Absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Because firstly, it was like a monthly subscription. And now we know that monthly subscription will work very well with newsletters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like our University of Code.
Yeah.
It doesn't work well with sort of like a course sort of structure.
Yeah.
Now, I mean monthly subscription as in monthly, so not monthly payments.
Yeah.
For people who don't get confused. And gold and silver was, oh man, it was such a pain.
Yeah.
Like, God, like it's just people coming in and then they would just steal content.
Yeah.
They would just steal content straight up and then it would be gone.
Yeah.
They'll be gone the next month. So now, just to avoid that thing, you avoid the monthlies. So there's no point of them to steal a content because they'll have lifetime access anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing is, you've got, there's billions of people on the planet, right? Man, when they come to the like, in the end of the day, and this is a hard reality we learn.
Yeah.
If people are going to be, the guy who's going to buy a course and then complain about it, they could love the course and still find a way to get their money back or refund it back. So we quickly identified that, okay, with the low price points of like the $4.99 a month or this or that, or in the course aspect, right? Obviously, we're talking about the course there, Not UOC. UOC, it works very well.
Amazing.
Because that supports us, that allows us to do it. But in the course aspect, the biggest thing we found was by attracting that level of customers, now what you're doing is you're better off just saying, look, consume or like make free content, make free courses at that level and say, don't pay me that much and just consume my free stuff. And that's enough value. And if you want to get my stuff, set your actual price and value yourself. And this is what I learned by reading John Thomas's book, Soft Skills, where it's about how you value yourself as a developer and basically don't feel ashamed to price yourself in the right way. And at that point, since our best ever win was when we eliminated our low tiers. Yeah. And then we basically said one-time payment plans. And what we did instead was we offered EMI options. So pay monthly by 3 months.
Yeah. But even one biggest thing we noticed with gold and silver was there were not many action takers that were joining in that tier. It was just like people who were like half interested and just want to try it out. Like we want real like serious people that really want to improve, really want to learn. And that radiates with the community as well.
Exactly.
So that's why our community is so like everybody wants to learn, everybody's serious, everybody's wants to take action, everybody's ready to take risks, everybody's like trying to get a job or whatever it may be. They're serious in what they do and they're interested. And that was one thing that was lacking in silver and gold. People were just like sometimes just joining for the sake of it, and then that negative energy would carry on with the community, and then that would interfere. So once those two were eliminated, that problem, the biggest problem, was really solved. The community really lightened up, don't you think?
Yeah, that's huge. I think that's a gold point, man. Like with the community side of things, because remember, the whole thing that we wanted to build was not just a course, it was a community of the world's best developers, like the world's best developer family. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You come in, you've got support. Does not matter if you get stuck. Zero to Full Stack Hero PAPAFAM community has got your back. That's
literally,
it. And you're completely right. We had such bad negative energy inside that community when it joined, because we had all these amazing people that were hyped. They were like ready to change their lives, ready to do things. And then you've got these people at the same point battling. Why is this not here? Why is that not here? Why is it
complaining?
And obviously you could explain it 100 times over. This is coming next week. We're working as fast as we can do. We're giving you everything we promised. They will find some area to complain. So we ended up eliminating that. We found that the community, like you said, got way better.
Way better.
And again, it goes back to full circle. That again addressed the problem of value, right? So the value proposition, now the community's gone up in value because it's amazing. It's full of like that community is awesome. Now, if we go there, even I go there sometimes. Like, guys, anyone working on this right now? And I hope from my own community, like. It's not even my community anymore. I look at it as the PAPAFAM is its own living entity.
I think so many of the PAPAFAM members would treat me like a friend. Like literally, they'll talk to me like so.
I would
friendly
love to meet up with everyone.
Yeah, I would love to meet them. Like
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be so nice.
And now that value's gone up, so naturally you start finding value in your course, value in your community. And with that, after a certain few months, obviously we'll go back after this, but after a few months of growth, and I think after like a year, we decided, you know what, we said we did what we were going to do. We got the value up, we got the course content up, we've set to our coaching schedules, and we found that everything is just elevated. So then we decided to do a price increase to reflect on the value. And that allowed us to do a lot more. It allowed us to upgrade the internal things, like the systems we use. Now we even have intercom, which allows us to communicate directly with our customers, like our users, customer service, that kind of thing. And all those things, they're not free, but by doing this like kind of upgrade, now we basically have said it that like we want that community to be nothing but action takers.
Literally.
Period.
Literally. Like if you're not interested, just don't join us. At this point.
Exactly.
We really want people, like you don't have to know everything. You can be a literal beginner, don't know nothing about coding, but if you're committed and you're like okay, I'm interested in learning, and you join it, that's good enough. Like literally, we don't want experienced devs or anything of that sort. You can be anything. You just have to be interested. You just have to be an action taker. That's
exactly.
It. Yeah.
And we can confidently say now, and I'll literally say this openly to anyone, if they want to join a community where they seriously are going to get like results, like in the sense of you join something, and the reason why I know they'll get results is because you've got mentorship from me every week to learn. I'm just throwing it down their throat. You've got all the backlog of content, which literally shows you how to go from 0 all the way up to your full stack hero.
Yeah.
And then
vlog.
Yeah. No, it's true though, right? And then on top of that, if you get stuck, you've got 24/7 help. Like, as in, so I'm damn proud of where we got it to.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Honestly, so that's the pricing. That's the kind of like little, like kind of into
the pricing changes and structures.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why and the thing is, even with the price increases, you said, we don't keep increasing it.
Yeah.
It's just once that happened, but the course content keeps increasing.
Yeah.
So now, like the value of the course every week gets more and more and more.
Because it's constantly getting more and more content.
This is why when you do one-time lifetime payment, you have paid it once and that's it. You're getting value forever.
Exactly.
Like, constant.
Exactly. So we tackled the sort of the pricing thing, or I would say that was the journey of the pricing structure.
Learning journey. Yeah.
So now when we've launched, so when we launched, oh my God, it was insane.
How did you feel?
Man,
you were the one that was live. So.
Yeah, it was a live stream, and I remember like we had Jay on the side on Slack. We were kind of talking. Again, Slack is what we were using to like we still use it as an internal chat tool with our team. And I've got Jay on the side. I'm literally messaging like, "Are we good? Are we gonna go live right now? Like, are we gonna open the door? That to the course?" And then there's so many things behind the scenes. Like, I'm like, "Jay, set the page live. Do this, do that."
Yeah.
And at the same point, you're presenting, you're showing, and the whole thing is it's like an art form because you're trying to, get your message across in the right way and attract the right people in and sort of get your kind of your new vision alive. Like you're trying to, it's like birthing.
From zero.
It. Yeah.
It's from zero.
Literally.
You were from zero.
Yeah, from absolutely nothing
to
get in your first thing. And I will never forget. I think that gave me so much. That was a life-changing moment.
Yeah.
Like the minute we literally said the doors are now open, that exact moment changed my entire life, and that's on YouTube. That exact moment. Yeah,
the video's still on YouTube.
And I'll never forget the feeling of that. It was every emotion you can imagine. It was fear, excitement. It was honestly like I was shaking excitement.
Because you just don't know. You put everything in that.
Yeah,
that's like
And we were we knew exactly what we were gonna do and deliver, and we believed in it. And that's the truth. Our heart was in it.
Yeah,
right. And heart is in it.
Yeah,
right. And when you show that, I don't think it takes much skill beyond that. Honestly, like, you have the ability to get a message across, but when you show that you're so damn energetic and passionate about something, it's contagious. People are like,
they're like, amazing.
Yeah, like, I want to bloody be a part of that too.
Yeah.
Like they want
I want the
in.
same energy.
Yeah. And then that's what the PAPAFAM's become about, right? So we launched. I remember after getting off that live stream, I was meant to be at 1 hour, 1.5 hours. I think it was 4 hours in the end.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
4 hours. And we had, I don't know if we were bringing people on live at that time.
No, we weren't.
I don't think we were.
No, you were just showing the testimonials on the webpage.
Yeah. So we had like testimonials from my previous, like people I was teaching, clients and that so forth. People I was being in a consultancy to even. We had George.
Frank and all.
Yeah. So Frank, a lot of people we were showing like, this is who's vouched for us and so forth. And so it was 4 hours. And even on that call, we didn't have the pricing plan of even 3-month payment plan up. On the live stream.
You did it.
Literally, I did it on the side.
I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah. So imagine this is gold because everyone imagines that it's all perfect when you launch. Yeah. So many people, we didn't know that people wanted a 3-month payment plan.
Yeah.
We just didn't know that.
Yeah.
So people are writing in, can I pay in 3-month installments? I'm like,
all right.
I think I've seen that in Kajabi.
Let me just get back to you.
Yeah.
Guys.
So I'm on a live stream and I'm like, I messaged Jay, like, I think I'm going to try and figure this out. And as I'm talking to people, I'm on Kajabi, like trying to set this product up. And Jay's giving me the logo.
And getting the link out to everybody.
And then I'm like, all right, I think it's done. And then like they can pay for 3 months now.
And so many joined in 3 months.
Yeah. And so many people were like, wow, that's amazing. Join. And that worked a lot because, some people couldn't upfront the cash, which is fine, right?
Yeah.
So we offer the 3 month.
I agree.
And the best part about that is I'm literally telling them, I'm setting it up right now.
Yeah.
And I've done what you wanted. And here's the link. And people are like, thank you, amazing, So anyway, the whole thing wraps up 4 hours. Crazy. Biggest moment of my life.
28th December.
28th of December. I think was it? No, I think it's 30th. No.
I'm 30th.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure it was the 30th because
30th.
then the next day or the next, because it went into midnight, I think.
Yeah, of New Year's.
Yeah, and then it was New Year's, and then so it was literally like a start to the year that I never. Wow. And I remember coming off that, and I just got on a call, and I literally, I think I screamed in my house, man.
Yeah.
And then when I got off that call, I yelled so loud, saying like, "Wow!" Like I was like so ecstatic that just so many people joined. Yeah, because it showed me, yes,
it showed faith. In the whole thing.
It was like it's possible.
Because if nobody joined anything, then we would know like shit, like. Yeah. Something is wrong on our end. Like,
and there's a fear, when you open the door straight away, there's a pause.
And
nobody talks about it. That pause where people are like, browsing and checking it out. And
you're just like,
and your heart is just racing. Like, I hope I've done enough to make people believe in me now. Like, I really want to help you out, you know? And at that moment, that pause, and obviously at that point, you get all the haters. Oh my God. No, but the point I'm bringing up is because that pause is where you have to just show your inner self of like your belief.
Yeah.
Because your belief will run through. You just have to believe in it. Like, that's it. Because you, at that exact moment when you open the doors, you get so many people, oh my God, I'm not paying that. Those $4.99s, those kind of guys. Yeah, you're getting everything flooding in, and you just have to stay strong. Yeah. Right? Honestly. Concrete. And the reason why I mentioned that point is because you're not born that way just to be good at that. Right? Like, don't get me wrong. In that moment, I was sitting there and I was fighting it in myself. Like, am I on the right thing? Like you're fighting all these different things. Your imposter syndrome's kicking in. Like, oh, am I doing the right thing?
It still kicks in.
Yeah, it still kicks in. Like, and then, but you just like, I believe in myself. That's it. Like, I believe that this is right. This is what we're doing. And is this going to help people? Damn yes. Like, period. That's it. Like, it's going to help people more than I can imagine. And then we launched. Yeah, it was crazy. Now, after all of that, when the sort of the nerves settled, and we were like, we're live. And we have a course.
Yeah. And that's when actually the journey begins.
Yeah. That's when the journey began. So that's where we realized,
oh shit, there's so much to do.
Yeah. Like we already did XYZ so much, but we were like, right now it started. Like now the actual thing started. And at that moment, which was the awesome thing is that I could say to Jay, I can support you now in the company. I can bring you on and we can do this. And even that moment, takes a lot from an individual running it, like, because as a business owner, like, it sounds easy that you bring on people and you have employees. I don't even consider Jay an employee. I consider Jay a partner. Like, it's more than somebody. I mean, it's more like we've built this from ground zero. But it's like you have to accept responsibility on your shoulders a little bit. Yeah, and that I think is quite stressful. Like, because you have to take that on and like, think of a general in an army, right? If the whole army's running forward and the general just turns around and says, I'm out. The army's just like, what the hell? What do I do?
I'm gone. Yeah.
So it can get a bit like, you have to kind of stay strong in that moment. So we launch, everything's good. Now, how does a team of 2 take a company from like beginner levels to 6 figures? Yeah. And I'm talking like, I think we can be transparent with this, but it was in the first year we did over $500,000 in business, in the sense of core sales. Yeah, I want to be open about this, right? No, and the reason being I'm saying this, £500,000 in sales, because it wasn't just in the course itself. It was also
more YouTube, Skillshare.
We had partnerships, sponsorships. Yeah. It was not just saying that like, oh yeah, we did this with the course. The course was a fundamental part of it. Yeah. But then we also grew all of our other channels, right? So we had lots of sources. Now, all of these things require time. All of these things require effort. All of these things require energy, right? Yeah. How does a team of 2 scale and stay somewhat? Now we have got a bigger team, but but in the core essence, 2 people run so much. This is where I think it's going to be quite important to talk about how we did this.
Yeah, because even like taking feedback from people, like when we started, was the biggest factor.
Yeah, big time.
Like people used to always ask, like, man, I really want to just get that build code from Sunny, and I don't want to buy the whole course. I don't have enough money right now. I just want to build and that's when we actually decided to separate GitHub from Papa Platinum and Diamond. Yes. And sell it as a standalone product. Yeah. Because we first said we don't want to do standalone products because it might distract people. It might deter people from, just their focus is everywhere. So that was the first thing we did was we detached GitHub, and we're still selling it now as a separate product.
Yeah.
And right now it's on a crazy value because
the amount of builds that are in 50, 60 builds in there. Crazy,
which is insane. But that time we just had like a few builds in there, and that time even the price was really affordable. GitHub package that you can still buy right now. And that time we had like a few builds on there, and people loved that.
Yeah.
People bought so much of GitHub, and then we had to set up a whole automations for GitHub.
Yeah.
We had to, because people don't understand it. People just think that, oh, these guys just want to push out a product just for extra money, but they don't realize the work that requires to make that product just get pushed out. Even though you made the builds, the build code is there, but still the whole process of bring that product live, have automations behind the product, somebody handling that product. It's a lot of work on the back end, which people don't realize.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing we can say is that if somebody, genuinely thinks, oh, this is a bit shammy or whatever, it takes so much work to get that thing out. Yeah, like it's not an easy 2-second process. No. It takes a lot of work to bundle it up, to get in the right place, to send it out, to do all of that. Now, when we did that, we quickly realized we ran into a bit of a wall because, and also I think a key thing that we just ran over there was we started listening a lot more to feedback.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So I want to highlight that point because not only that in the course, in our community, everywhere, we were like, what are people telling us? Because in the beginning, yes, you have to somewhat, get a bulk of it yourself with an idea or a vision. And then after that, it's iteration. It's just listen to what people say. Is it good? Is it bad? And don't fight it with pride. Because in the beginning, you can be like, I know this thing's good. Screw you. Forget that mindset. It should be, if somebody says, I think this could be a bit better, you should be like, okay, ask them, how can we address that? What would you like to see?
Feedback is key.
Yeah. And then before you know it, we started seeing improvements. We started seeing things like, okay, maybe people are asking for this. Let's start doing this more. Yeah. Even the way we notify people, we just had a calendar. When you joined, it would just show the coaching calls.
Yeah.
People were like, I didn't know there was a coaching call today. I didn't know. So then we started doing automated scheduling.
We had different calendars. We had email reminders.
Yeah, all this kind of stuff. So now you get an email before and all this kind of stuff. So let's take a product, like a digital product, like the Papa GitHub repo. So digital product, people are coming in from YouTube or this other stuff. So when people buy a product, the great thing about online business is it's lean in the sense of it's relatively simple once you set it up.
Yeah.
As in for the gist of it.
Yeah.
So they buy through Kajabi. So you set the product up on Kajabi. People come in, they purchase, and you can set up Stripe, PayPal, that kind of thing. Now once they bought it, it will capture some details that you ask. So it'll be like, what's your name? What's your email?
Yeah.
What we did was basically ask for GitHub as well. So there's no direct thing in Kajabi that will say, when somebody buys this, now you have to give access to GitHub and do all this other stuff.
Yeah. So how do we give access to GitHub straight up?
So then we had the conversation of okay, we've got a challenge here. And this is what our life consists of.
Honestly.
This is
your day in the work.
This is a day in the life. We're just giving an example here, right? So at that point, we're like, how do we go now? So we know when somebody buys something, but how do we now address the sort of giving them access to GitHub?
Exactly.
And then we're looking at the APIs, and I'm like, and I typically, the dev mindset kicks in sometimes. So I'm like, we could automate this and do this. Yeah. But even the word automate is pretty grand, right? So we first, then this is where we found Zapier.
Yeah.
Now Zapier I learned about it from podcast. It was India Hackers actually. So I think it was the owner of Zapier was on the show.
Yeah.
And he was talking about XYZ. Wow. And I remember I said, Jay, so this software basically does, and all it is if this happens, do that. You can set up sequences. So we connected Kajabi.
Sequences between apps.
Yeah. We connected Kajabi, and then I think we did it. It's Kajabi Airtable.
Yeah. So we did. We use another. I was going to add on to it. We use the Airtables to get the information from Kajabi and put in a table list, and then that table gets pinged to Zapier, which gets pinged to a Slack channel.
Yes.
Which. Now that I talk about it, it's so complex.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so important to bring it in. Yeah.
So that gets pinged to a Slack channel, which shows that, okay, this person has joined with this email and this GitHub ID. Let him in. Yeah. Right? And the way you can check that is we have another channel on Slack, which has payments channel, which is the best channel by far. Because anytime somebody purchases something, it gets popped up with what he bought exactly. And so we know exactly, okay. So we know it's not like some random person trying to access GitHub.
Exactly.
So that's how we keep check on the security, and once we know that person, we just get it manually given to. Even on GitHub, we have set up a team organization.
Yeah.
So anybody in the team can see all the code inside, but anybody that's not in the organization cannot see it. So it's like private.
Exactly. So the thing is, remember when we first did it, we're looking at Zapier. Then when we like, you have to sit down and brainstorm like, okay, so what do we do from here? You know, like, okay, we've got this cool thing, but Kajabi purchase, yes, you can ping Slack, but at the time there was no direct when purchase comes message Slack. They didn't exist at the time.
That's why they did.
Do you remember? So we had to look at, okay, and at that point, I think this is the key part that I'm trying to highlight is that when you're starting a business, these roads aren't straight. They're not straight roads, right? And you might be wondering, why are you putting so much effort into this? When you get an email, just check it, because you have to think of everything in time value. Your time, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're growing a business, and you actually got a business up and running, your time becomes gold, and you have to leverage it and make it more efficient everywhere you go. So you start shaping every aspect of your life in terms of time, and even to the point where, so we looked at that and we're like, all right, we can't just give up because there's no integration.
No, we could do it manually, but we were thinking of scalability.
Yes,
because
that's it.
Now,
scalability,
because now, like, there's so many people joined in. And then,
like, every single day, if you get 5 that you have to deal with, that may not seem like a lot, but that is a lot of work.
Time. Time that is gone,
Every single day, you have to do it 5 times. Like, that's a lot of time.
And that's assuming only 5. Imagine we have sometimes like 10. And we have so many.
If we do big events or video pops off, oh my God, you've got like tons of those requests coming in. So now we've got that form. So when somebody buys, it goes to a form. It connects to Zapier. When someone submits the form, it adds a record to Airtable. Airtable then pings off another thing.
So Slack. And then when somebody buys it, they even get an email, which we have to make.
We have to make. And then again, so now we've crafted this route, like this is automation route, right? Using Zapier. And then we even went to the extent of making it so that Jay just had to click one link specifically. And we crafted the URL in such a way that it opened GitHub at the perfect page.
For the invite.
So you just have to put in the ID that they entered before.
And then just URL.
And then click OK. Right? So it takes a little bit of a manual step, but in the grand scheme, it's like 2 clicks.
And it's done.
So 2 clicks is done.
Compared to check the email, do this, do that, and then, oh no, man.
And now this takes a whole job role or something like down, because imagine a lot of people would hire it. Like
it's just customer support.
They have customer support. Someone would do it. And the problem with that is you also got error prone. They need to have an expertise of understanding. They need to be able to check Kajabi the right way. And so we were like, let's eliminate everything, because we might have a bad day, make a mistake. Right? So we were like, how can we minimize this? So that was one problem solved example.
And this is one example of many. Because this is GitHub only, and people think this is an easy product to sell, but it's not. But we made it easy to sell.
But now it's easy, right?
Now that's what we made it easy, right?
With the automation, now it's like literally someone buys 2 clicks, done.
And then that's just one of the challenges. Then the other challenge was the course itself.
The course we've set up perfectly. Course is perfectly automated now. Like to the point where you join and we will literally be sending you onboarding emails. We'll be sending you, and it's like a day after you join, we've got scheduled emails.
There's a guide,
There's guides that get sent to you. There's onboarding material. You get immediate access. You don't. This requires 0 interaction from us. And that, I think, is the beautiful thing about a digital product. Is if you set it up right, it requires 0 interaction. So it's a perfect scalable passive source of income.
Instant.
We decided to make it more valuable because we made it a passive source of income, but we added the active element of coaching calls, and that kind of stuff. So it's a dynamic course as opposed to a normal course.
And now even the course utilizes the new PAPAFAM community space, which is incredible actually. And all our members are so active there. It's like a proper, like a sort of chat features. You have you have a meetups tab where you can see all the upcoming coaching calls, the previous coaching calls. You can see the next coaching call that's coming up. So that solves the issue of the calendar stuff. It's really clean. It looks amazing. And then you have like a leaderboard sort of fun things.
You gamify it.
It's gamified so people interact more. And then there are challenges which you can do every month. We add in challenges. So, people have, it's going to be just fun challenges, like, introduce yourself to the community. Because sometimes people get a bit awkward and shy. This gets them out of their comfort zone. So challenges help with that. And then you have lots of people talking with each other. It's just amazing.
And I think that's like really the heart of it all, right? Like the community side. Like even when you're saying like I think the biggest thing here was that you went from, obviously when we started, it was Slack. So people would get a special invite to a Slack community.
Yeah.
And that's where everything lived. Slack is like a messenger app. There's like I'd say like it's business messenger app, and everyone can join and message for free. The pricing plan, arguable. I'm not a fan.
Same.
Yeah, I don't agree with the pricing plan. I think it's way too expensive for what they give.
Way too expensive.
But I mean, for enterprise, fair play. But for a normal startup business, I think it's just ridiculous. But their free tier is great.
Yeah.
For business. So we use that still to this day for internal communication.
Just the 90 days message pissed me off.
So that's what the thing, right? So they have this cap on 90 days of messages, which makes sense because obviously you got all these people using the free service. But we thought we want users to be able to search for stuff. Like they might have had a conversation like 5 months ago, which really was a gold conversation.
No, because we had a wins channel and that wins channel was always deleting messages of. And those were wins from our community, man. Keep it there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Keep it like, and then we'd go back and think, do you remember when this person won? And we can never find it.
We can never find it.
Yeah. So now the whole point that you have to keep on top of is, don't get comfortable. Like we made a service which was really great and it worked at the time, but we saw things being upgraded and being released. Like, because we kept releasing new features, including even the podcast feature.
Yeah.
All these new things keep releasing. Keep active. So just because something works today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow.
True.
Yeah. Or doesn't mean it's going to be at the same quality or looked at the same way in the value sense as it is tomorrow. So keep on upgrading things and never get complacent. So if you find that, like, even to this day, we will make the slightest adjustments to our students just so their experience is better.
Exactly.
Now they've got automated emails which are way prettier than what they used to be.
Yeah.
And it tells you like the weekend before that your coaching course
is coming up. Yeah.
You've got this meetup today, like this week. Hey, here's the link that you can click and join.
When you're live, like it says like, hey, it's live now, join in. Or
exactly.
Yeah.
There's like a Q&A section. There's comments. There's all this beautiful stuff. Like, and it's a lot nicer of an experience.
Yeah.
So constantly upgrade it, like, and listen to your feedback. That's the core thing. Now,
diving back.
So that's the sort of we talked about the sort of an example of automation.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the sort of how do a team of two, as you're growing all this stuff, right? Keep organized, right? How do you? In the beginning, it's like, I think I have the document over here.
on Notepad.
Dude, have you got the document? I think I've got the logos. Oh no, Sonny, I gave you the logos. Well, I don't have the logos. And it's everywhere, everything. So this is where Notion was introduced to us. And we were like early users of Notion. So like in the early days, before it became this big productivity tool.
It was your basic text editor sort of thing with pages. That's it.
Yeah. So when we first used it, it was very simple. It was just blocks.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It was
blocks. Yeah.
It was blocks. You can add a block of text, block of image, blah,
databases,
blah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Like, they had databases.
They had databases, but not like linked, I think.
Yeah, not like what is now.
Yeah,
now it's like a game changer.
Excel,
So we decided to create Notion. Notion is our way of keeping everything neat, organized.
Yeah.
We store files. We store everything inside of there.
We even keep like the planning structures there, the calendars there. We plan out the upcoming things. We plan the upcoming battle plans. We call it battle plans, by the way, for people who don't know.
It's true, and that's how we schedule out our things and all that kind of stuff. Now, when we did that, what was this sort of experience like on your side? So I'm obviously chucking down this new tool down your throat.
Yeah. So I didn't have any experience with Notion again. As usual.
Yeah.
And this was like, it was so starting to get organized. I could understand exactly like, okay, next week Sunny has to do this. I have to focus on this. And then, because we are a team of 2, we're not like a team of 10, like that time, where, we had other people's hand and support and stuff like that. Yeah. We just had to plan out, action it all by ourselves.
Yeah.
So it had to be like on point, and Notion was like perfect for that. So we had like kind of like a dashboard then. Yeah. Obviously now we have a crazy dashboard, but that time we had and maybe we share the template of that dashboard to someone. Never know.
Honestly, I think
our dashboard now is so
it's incredible,
amazing. Yeah. Oh
we
my God.
We spent so much time
on that,
making this perfected like that, and it's all linked. So if we have works, we're working with someone, it's contracts signed and everything. Everything is perfectly connected and stored.
So
and it even connects to our and it all breaks down to the to do. And which is then on your calendar.
Because for people who don't know, like if we have a new sponsor or someone that comes up, like for example, we were working with Microsoft Azure before, and we add them in, And then we just add the name in, and we have like their contracts pop up. We have the invoices pop up. We have how many videos we have with them pop up. We have the costs. We have everything popped up in one place.
Yeah.
And that is amazing.
And the best part is that we've made it in the best use of time. So, so what can happen here is we can have a conversation with the company, for example. It could be even the client, and we'll eventually get down to talking about how a software company was started off of this, because we even use it for that aspect. But we basically go ahead and I can have a conversation with Jay, with a company. We can get them involved and start talking about things and how we can work together. And then it can basically be like, I go away, start learning the tech, start doing the things on the practical side, so making the best use of my time. Jay then goes ahead and takes away all the resources, starts organizing it, pushing it, and scheduling. So Jay will then manage a lot of the scheduling, that kind of thing. And yes, our team is not just 2 anymore. It's grown a lot since then. But
at that time,
it was just me and Jay.
Just 2, yeah. So and then apart from that kept the organization on point. Yeah, I'd say. Yeah. And then I think every business needs that sort of like organization tool for that thing. And I would recommend Notion, obviously. Yeah. But anything that you guys would be familiar with or used to it, use it, because if you don't have organization in your business, it's gonna fail, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna fail. Like I've heard a lot of stories of people who gung ho it and they get it through. But I think you're gonna hit a point where that's gonna be such a bad situation. Like you don't realize how much time you're wasting. And both of us really like love our time. Yeah. And we want to be able to, you want to free up as much time as you can so you can live your life as well as just working, right? And so that is crucial. So without Notion now, oh my God, like Notion is our go-to holy grail for a lot of things.
We check everything for Notion. Yeah. Like everything. Like
now we have AI and all that and kicked in as well. Which helps out a lot.
Yeah.
So we now, I'd say we dialed it down. We kept improving it. So we kept improving it over time.
Yeah. It wasn't perfect before.
Yeah. We've gone through like 10 iterations of how we schedule, how we handle things. Yeah. And the best thing is look, do it this way. You talk with your team. You find a way that kind of like, okay, this is how we should maybe try to do things from now on. Yeah. And then we're like, cool, let's see how it works. So you put that in effect. You actually test it out. How are we working so far? No one really stuck to that plan. Scrap it. Next plan. Mm-hmm. And then eventually you'll find a plan that works. And then before you know it, like we looked at each other like, oh my God, we actually released a lot of videos. Yeah. Like we weren't doing this before and now we're doing this, right? Yeah. And then you start finding these systems that work. And when I mean the system, I mean like, if we do it this way, so if this happens, if this event happens over here, I'm going to assume that Jay's going to do ABC and I'm going to do ABC. Yeah. And that's just the system. So every time that event happens, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And then with systems in place, things become pretty easy. Yeah, it's simple.
It's not daunting anymore.
Yeah, it's no longer this complicated, oh my God. Like if we get off a call and we've had an agreement with a client, whatever, I'm going to assume Jay's going to do ABC. Yeah. Easy. And then that way I can carry on with X, Y, Z.
Because I always handle the client calls and I exactly what to do next. Yeah.
And that just simplifies things because now you can kind of move on. And plus you're scaling now. Because now, like when we brought on another member, so for a temporary period, I had another PA that was kind of in the team. Yeah. And because we had systems in place, you can now just take a system and kind of be like, okay, now you're responsible for this system.
Straight up.
Yeah. And you can move your systems around. You can move it around and now you can delegate. And which means you can scale your team. And that's where I think a lot of people hit a wall because they're like, I'm doing this. How can I trust you to do this? Yeah. And if you start with that, you're going to find it very hard to scale. Yeah. So this then leads on to sort of as we've grown. So we've grown a lot.
And then that actually we can lead on to how it helped us on our first challenge, the Netflix challenge.
Oh yeah. So Netflix.
So that was, I don't know. For me, it was like it's like imprinted in my memory because this is my first challenge. Yeah. That was a Netflix challenge, obviously, because you had the experience before, but I have never had experience of a challenge before. Yeah. So you knew how the whole game plan kind of works. Yeah. But we never had it like tried and tested. Yeah. And that was the first time we actually tried and tested a challenge of our own. And that was the first challenge we ever did was a Netflix challenge. The videos are still up. They can watch it. And in that challenge, we were using Notion, we were using emails, like different styles, and we had to do like these homework submissions. And I'm telling you guys, like challenge is a lot of work.
Yeah, true. Actually, I didn't even.
Challenge is so much work. Oh my, for both of us. For both of us. it's just insane. Like people don't know. Like people say, "Hey, when's the next challenge?" Like, do a challenge every month. Do a challenge every month. Oh my god! I mean, you're not gonna be sleeping, man, if you do that every month, because challenges requires a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's really good in the sense that it really helps people. Like it brings the whole community alive again. Yeah. People are helping each other. People are active on Facebook groups, Discord, on the community itself. They're helping each other do homeworks, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And we never know, we might have one soon.
Yeah. We have a challenge coming up.
Yeah, we have a challenge coming up, obviously. Yeah, but we will not tell you when.
Yeah. It's very soon though.
Yeah.
Very soon.
All right. So the Netflix challenge was the part where it really like taught me a lot. A lot about organization. And it's like, okay, I have to put in like not 100%, I have to put in 200% into this. Yeah. Like it's more work than I thought. And I'm like, okay, shit, time to get serious. Put on the hacking cap. Let's get into the zone of like just work. But yeah, that time Notion helped. Yeah. Challenges are, and for those who don't know what challenges are, basically it's our 5-day events that we run, where if you attended all the 5 events, all the 5 days of the event, at the end of day 5, you would have the whole app built, ready to go. Like you could put down a portfolio, you could have it up there, and then you're good to go. And you would have learned a lot in that challenge by doing homeworks, and you're accountable for it. It's not like a YouTube video you watch, you're halfway there, and then you just leave, and then you just forget about it. No, you got to be showing up there every day, submit your homework, and try to win the challenge. Yeah. Because there's a winning aspect to it. And if you win the challenge, hey, you can get access to our course, you can get access to tons of things. Yeah. Fun things, right? You get free prices. It's fun. It's giveaways. You get free cheat sheets, ebooks, right?
The gist of it really is it's an event that you can use. So one thing is content you release, people watch, but you can't, it's very difficult to get accountability behind just content.
Exactly.
A challenge we came up with is basically a short, like in summary, you're incentivizing people to take action on something because you're offering a tremendous amount of free value. Yeah. So the tremendous amount of free value is basically you're giving so much for free. So our main essence here is by joining the challenge, you're going to get a huge amount, like a huge project, and then you're going to get a portfolio to put it on. So basically now what you're doing is you're giving them the starting step to their career, right? Yeah. So now they've got that starting step to their career, they're kind of invested, right? That's more than just a video. That's more powerful than a video. And at the same point now, what you're doing is you're eliminating this barrier of I'm starting this journey solo, because you're in a group of people that are super energized. They're doing this 5-day challenge together.
And they've signed up for it.
Yeah, they've signed up. They put their name down. They've said, I'm going to do this challenge. Yeah. And it's not like I'm asking you to run a marathon, right? It's not like I'm taking you from some crazy, unrealistic expectation of you need to spend 90 days with me, right? Yeah. No, it's just, you just turn up every day for 5 days. Yeah. That's it. Turn up every day for 5 days. And now what you're doing is you're giving someone an accountability. Right? You're giving them kind of thing. And what we do with that is we gamify it. We make it fun. We make it a lot more engaging. And what we found is that this is so much deeper than just a YouTube channel. If you really look into it, it's more of a way of, it's trying to shake people in the sense of like, if you're trying to learn something, we're trying to shake you in the sense of we're not just going to be like every other tutorial out in the world. We're trying to get you literally to take action so you can switch your career path and start doing something that you love. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I'll bring up one thing. We had someone who won the last challenge, eBay challenge, and he was a pizza delivery driver. Yeah. And he always had a passion in coding. And we saw his homework. And we didn't even know he was a pizza delivery driver. Yeah. And he had this passion of coding. And he won the challenge because his builds were actually so amazing. Oh, it was incredible. His design was amazing. Yeah. And he won the challenge. And then now he's figuring out a job in coding.
Yeah. Crazy.
Live example. Yeah. Literally.
Even our own students. So
many.
Yeah. So we had somebody called Dash. Now Dash, he would love that we're chatting about him. Yeah. But Dash is one of our incredible students. Now we found, honestly, like we discovered
Netflix challenge.
Through Netflix challenge. Yeah. So he done the challenge. And I remember we were reviewing submissions from homework because every day you have homework. Yeah. And Dash was submitting homework. And I was honestly blown away. I was like, wow. Yeah. I was like, this is good. This is really good design. He's got a lot of potential here. Now, I remember Dash...
He didn't win that.
Dash didn't win that challenge, right?
Because his designs wasn't that good. But there's a kicker to it.
Yeah.
There's a kicker to this. His designs weren't that good compared to the rest because he was doing it on a friggin' tablet.
No, it was a phone. He was doing it on a phone.
He was designing
and we didn't
websites on a goddamn phone.
But we didn't even know
We didn't even know that.
So like, imagine he's done this whole thing. Yeah. And then we're like, okay, we had some clear winners. They smashed it. Yeah. So then, but we're like, okay, this guy was so close. Like, really,
and I felt bad.
Yeah, and I remember we talked about, we're like, Dash, oh man,
I feel so bad.
Yeah, but
we have to be at the end. We have to give justice.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people we see that. Now the crazy part is Dash kept turning up.
Yeah,
every challenge, this guy turned up, right, and he kept getting better and better and better. To the point where we were like, this guy wins.
The guy wins the challenge.
He wins the challenge, done. Like, this guy deserves this. He's turning up every time.
Yeah.
The craziest part is get on a call with Dash.
Yeah.
Dash tells us, I'm doing it on the phone. I was like, I was blown away. My jaw smacked the floor, and it showed me how much somebody can want something, and the energy, the passion, the hunger of doing something. Now, the craziest thing is, right, like, I remember, honestly, like, as we grew the PAPAFAM, as we grew the sort of 0 to full stack hero community, we started having success coaches, which were basically coaches inside, based on feedback, we built this kind of avenue. And then we found that, okay, you know what? We have awesome members in the community. Some are able to support others in better ways. So let's start making them, like, allowing them to coach other people as well, right? In the form of a coaching call as well, on top of my coaching call.
Yeah.
Now, what we did is we actually identified a little opportunity here, because we were like, all right, we have these incredible success coaches inside the community that are willing to help other people. A lot of them are either working or they're trying to get a job.
Yeah.
So we were getting people, as the YouTube channel grew, another opportunities opened up where people are watching the channel and are like, okay, I want you to build my app. But my capacity and my time was getting more and more limited.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right, how can we fix this? And how can I stop saying no to people that want me to build their apps?
But want your vision and design on
it. But want kind of the overlooking, the management, that kind of thing. Like, they want my touch on it, right? Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, actually, we've got a great pool of potential developers, right? That are really talented there. And this is where Dash's story continues, because when we started, we basically took our success coaches as our first kind of call to forming developer teams. So what we did is we started forming small freelancing developer teams. Now, these developer teams, consider them as individual contractors, but they're students who have literally come up in the PAPAFAM.
And you trained by you.
Yeah, and they're trained by us. And we also wanted to always address that problem of people learn inside the community, but we haven't, we're still in the process of mastering the actually connecting them to an employer, right? So, and that's very difficult for a lot of reasons. Yeah, because as in, we can give them the skills, but actually having long-term relationships with these employees, it's not as simple cut as it is. It's smaller companies and so forth. So, but we've got jobs coming in. So we've got freelancing gigs coming in. How can we help these students by giving them something here?
So what was born?
What was born? The software house, the PAPAFAM software house. Now, this was game changer. Yeah. Probably one of our biggest projects we ever took on. And now it's a full-flown business that we run. But
not many people know, because it's not up on our webpage yet.
Yeah, so it's not up on the webpage.
It's like a hidden sort of.
Yeah, so we literally
you know.
Yeah, we run a full-fledged software agency.
So if anybody wants to develop an app or a website or anything, hit us up.
Literally, if you want to build an app, website, whatever it is, any of your dream, your vision, we can bring it to a reality. Now we've worked with loads of different clients now, and Dash was one of our first developers. Now, I remember getting Dash on a call, and I remember we had this conversation before. We were like, Dash, and we had a few other guys in mind. Ardil was one of them, and we had a few others like Robert and a few others. So these kind of developers, I was like, oh, cool. We already know like our beginning team, like our A team. And then eventually we had B team, C team, D team, and so forth, as things grew naturally, right? So what happened was, I remember getting Dash on a call, and this was one of the best moments ever. I remember I said to him, Dash, you're calling on a phone, right? And then Dash gets on a Zoom call with me. He's like, and I was like, I wonder what you could do with a laptop, and bear in mind, Dash is in India. His family situation, generally speaking, in India, is in a harder part of India. So it's a bit harder to,
and he was,
to earn a bit of money in that sense. So I was like, Dash, let's jump on a Zoom call. And I think one of the most rewarding moments ever was being able to...
You got him the laptop.
Yeah, I took him to Amazon. I was like, just pick a laptop if you had to pick a laptop. And then I basically bought Dash a laptop. Yeah. And I said to Dash, it's going to come tomorrow. Done, right? You now show me what you got. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, I've already got, you got your job. Yeah. So at this point, it's like, it's such a cool... I was emotional as hell. Yeah. Dash was emotional as hell. Yeah. It was such a beautiful moment. Yeah. For honestly, just a moment in itself. Yeah. And it was a humbling experience to do that. And I remember like just seeing the excitement. And I was like, this guy's going to go so far with this, right? And then obviously he's taken the laptop and then he said, oh, yeah, I'm going to give you out my first paycheck. I said, no, I don't need that. I don't want that. This is purely for you now. The biggest thing that you could do to let this opportunity down is not take it and run.
Not take advantage of that. Yeah.
Not take advantage of it and not do it. Anyway, he becomes part of the A-team.
Yeah.
Right? And no joke, we've built crypto apps. We've built full-fledged, let's do the...
Rentals.
we built rental apps. We've built full-fledged web apps, native apps. Like we've got a lot of different clients now under the software house.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. And even that full-time business that we now are able to run, and we use automations, we use tools.
And we use Jira.
Yeah. Zero is a big training, I think, in some sense as well. Yeah. So for those that you don't know, what is Jira in a nutshell?
Well, Jira is a project management software. Yeah. And basically we are focusing on the Scrum style of project management, which Jira is specialized in, which is really good.
Yep.
And basically it's like, it just keeps transparency between us and what the devs are doing. It's easier that way than... Before we used to have it like, okay, drop the daily updates on a Slack channel and we are good to go.
Yeah.
But that kind of didn't work because we just don't know exactly what is going on. It was all haphazard and stuff like that. But now with Jira, you have we've set up in such a way that it's all connected to GitHub, through Vercel, to Pro. So we know exactly when the developments are done. We know exactly when the pull requests are done, when it needs to be reviewed, when a certain user story is done, and the user story can have child issues. It's just insane at this point, right? With all story point estimations. And it's like a fully fledged Scrum system that runs through. Every week we have sprint retros. And the Jira is what keeps this whole thing intact.
Exactly.
Basically.
And the best part about all of this is, again, it frees up our time in a lot of areas. So by doing this, yes, there's an initial training phase where like, I think the golden beautiful thing here is that, okay, you join a course or community like Zero to Full Stack Hero to learn, to become a developer. You kind of build your skill set up from zero to becoming a full stack hero, right? Literally,
How many times are they going to say that?
I know, but it's true though, right? As in like, you build your skill set up. Now the point is that the real production environment, how are you going to learn about it?
Yeah.
Right? So
many people.
And one of the key skills is project management.
No, but good thing you brought that up because that's the reason why we brought in the new module, project management.
Yes.
Because of that. Because people were complaining, saying, oh, you teach all this stuff, but you don't teach us how exactly it works in a real workspace scenario sort of thing. So we're like, okay, let's bring in a project management module. Like, Sunny, go on, study some project management online.
No, but I've done it.
You knew that as well through experience as well. And then we're like, okay. So then you started doing project management coaching calls.
Yeah. So then we basically introduced the sprint stuff. And again, it comes back to this feedback cycle.
Yeah.
You listen to what your audience wants. This is what your people want. And then give it to them. And then we were able to transfer that both ways, omnidirectionally, into the software house and into the course.
Yeah.
And what was amazing about this is, so it's freed up our time. And then we got to a point where, this stuff is, human error can cause a lot of delays, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, right? So what we did is we made it so easy for our teams to the point where we've got a perfect Jira Git flow now, to the point where, and that means that like, if we've got a task to do for one of our developers in the software house, all they have to do is one task, which is create a branch in something called GitHub.
Yeah.
And that means that they've started working on it. Now, a lot of the time, people forget to move their cards on the Jira board. Jira has this thing called a Kanban board, which is like a holistic overview of where people are at in progress, to do in progress, done,
to review, to done.
Yeah, basically a glorified to-do list, right? And what we did is we said, okay, let's automate that. Because now, that way, rather than people forgetting to update their tickets and all this crap, now we've done it so as soon as someone creates a production branch, it just goes ahead and it just takes their tickets
automatically.
As soon as they submit a pull request, which means they basically want someone to review their code to say, hey, check this out. Is it good to push in? As soon as they do that in review, it moves from this to review. Now on my phone, I get a ping and I'm like, cool. So now I can quality control by basically going in, checking code.
You can review and add in your code and stuff.
Exactly. I check the code.
That's where your touch comes in as well.
Yeah.
It's just not you saying, guys, do this and done.
Exactly.
You'll have your touch, you have your code, which is still valuable.
Yeah. It's still worth mentioning. I'm invested a lot in the software house. So it takes a lot of time. So a lot of it's not just like, okay, job comes in, it's not Sunny doing it. No, I'm actually behind the code as well.
Yeah.
So I'm reviewing the code, making sure the quality stays high.
And you even add in code of yours. Tons of things.
Exactly. Like if someone needs MVPs, if someone needs a real high level thing, I can get involved as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time I try to not push myself in so much because I want our developers to also get an opportunity to come in. Yeah. And that takes patience, and you have to learn how to not come in and just say, I want to do it all because I can do it. You have to kind of like reel yourself in, like relax, just let the team learn. You know what I mean? Like if you don't give them space to learn, no one's going to learn. Okay. So we automated that step. We even got Slack messages coming in. Like we've got internal channels just in Slack which ping us and things. So the point is that like, from this alone, you can start seeing how different tools can integrate with your workflow.
Different streams.
Yeah.
And it's just not like the good thing with us is that you didn't stick to one sort of income stream, if I may say so.
Yeah.
It was not just Zero Full Stacker, we reliant on it, done.
Yeah.
Like we had other things. We had Software House to solve that issue.
Yeah.
And we have YouTube to solve the issue of, okay, we don't get free content. Yeah. There you go. There's free content. But if you want more, you want to level up, serious, Zero Full Stack Hero. You want an app build, Software House. You want cheap daily coding problems.
We're
trying to find solutions for everything to help people out. It's just not, we want more money, Because honestly, like UOC is not making as much money as a course. Why the hell do we spend time on UOC? Because we want to help people. I'm being transparent. Like,
exactly. No, it's true. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. And then obviously on the whole like core to all of this is YouTube, which is free. Like, that's the most work goes into YouTube. Like by far, the most goes into YouTube because that's where I build things. It takes me, like honestly, it can take me up to a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes building one build, which is 3 hours on YouTube or 4 hours on YouTube, right? And that's where people are getting the massive drop of knowledge.
Yeah.
So, okay, so where we've got more opportunities coming up, right? This is where naturally, I would say, in the beginning of any entrepreneur or developer's route or a business owner's route, right? Try to think of your time as like we tend to have this problem where we overvalue in the beginning our time. Well, like, I'm worth this much. I think that's a mistake. Okay. I think the reality is in the beginning, you should be willing to give every bit of your time. Like, because in the beginning, you have to, like, look, let's be real. When we started off, we sacrificed a lot of time. Everything was around the business. Yeah. And with that, a few mistakes were made in the sense of you jeopardize your health and your sleep, a lot of things.
You do.
But sometimes I do believe like you have to give a lot and sacrifice a bit, right? To get something back.
I agree.
Now, once you hit a certain point and you get more and more busy, naturally your time value increases because you're getting more constrained. Now, the thing is, as you get opportunities come in, don't be like, I ain't got time for that. Find a way to be like, okay, there's a few things that are happening right now. Can I systemize it? Yeah. Can I break something down into a bunch of steps that maybe I don't have to do? Yeah. Maybe I can outsource. Maybe I can give someone else. Maybe I can automate it. There's a few solutions here, right? But get that in early. Yeah. So delegate. Learn to basically be like, it might not be perfect because you're not doing it, but accept that and teach someone to make it as perfect as you can make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now what you're doing is you're freeing up time and you're bringing in the opportunities. The worst thing you can do is I'm too busy, right? Like if Elon Musk can do 5 businesses, you can do something extra. You know what I mean? Like you can have another opportunity and then take it on.
Because people ask us every time like, hey, we really need some newsletter sort of thing where, we get problems and stuff like that. And if we just said, that's not our thing, we just have our course.
We're too busy.
Just join our course, we have it there and stuff. Then we would never solve the problem of, we never help the people that would want it. And then now people love the UOC.
Exactly, yeah. But naturally now you've got this new skill, which is to like leveraging time in a better way. And what can happen is you'll start honestly, you'll do this so high level to a point where people like, especially like my friends sometimes joke around and be like, you don't do this task anymore?
I know who the friend is.
No. Is it like it's a great? He's causing problems. No, I'm just saying. Generally speaking, it can. No, but as in, look, let's just be real. From an outside perspective, it can look like you're so lazy you don't do that by yourself. Example: in Dubai, you have a company called Washman. They just do your washing. No, but I'm being real with you. They do your washing. As in, no, but this is a true point, right? It's a true point. Now, in the beginning, when I started the business, was I doing stuff like this? I was doing all my washing. I was doing everything myself, right? Like, who am I to be doing this? But like in the beginning, I'm not saying I'm too good to do my own washing. No way in hell. Like I will do my own washing if I
exactly
have to.
do it.
The point is, let's say where we're getting more and more busy now, that time that you have, which is limited, becomes more and more valuable.
Which can be used for valuable things.
So what you can then do is you can start to assign value to time. So now, if you look at an opportunity, like let's just say the washing, because it's a day-to-day task, right?
Yeah.
So you have your washing. So what I do now is I use a service called Washman, which basically you can give, and there's a certain price you pay, and basically they take it away, take all your washing away in bags, and then they basically bring it all back, pressed and done. And then like I have once a week I have a cleaner who comes in and she just puts it away. Like, and you might be thinking that's a snobby thing to do. Why would you do that? Just do it yourself. The point is that now we've built up to a point where time value principle kicks in. Honestly, the time that I save back from doing that little interaction and what I'm paying, I'm generating more in terms of business value for my time.
It's the thing of you use time to get money, and then now you have the money to buy time.
Exactly. And then you're basically buying back time.
Yeah.
Right?
With this.
And in terms of the actual what I'm paying for something like the washing or something like that.
You're buying time, basically.
Yeah, but versus what I can generate in that time by doing, X, Y, Z. And we're not talking just, selling, blah, blah, blah. We're talking like literally making videos on YouTube, which has ad revenue. That's a source of income, right? Yeah. Now you're leveraging your time in a much better way. And that becomes like you literally start hyper optimizing to the point where you start taking these little tasks out. And because you start wanting to have, if I want to watch a film for 2 hours because I haven't relaxed all week, and being able to do that, and it costs me this much money, I will do that.
Yeah,
I will give that money away. But in the beginning, if you ask me, no way. No. Like at that point, you've got your time value is lower.
Yeah.
As it grows and grows. And the thing is, that's not just something which grows and stays big. You have to keep training that thing to make sure your time value stays high.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it can just as easily come down.
It can just come down. Yeah.
So I think that's a core thing that a lot of time people don't realize, because they would look from an outside perspective and be like, that's just a snobby thing to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or like ordering your food. Like, it's a snobby thing to do. But sometimes cooking might take a little bit longer than just ordering something.
Yeah.
But it can sound a bit snobby, but it's the truth. Yeah.
We spoke about the down thing, and it's good topic to bring it up, because until now, we only talk about the positives of the PAPAFAM.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like we're doing this, we're doing that, thriving business, but it wasn't always up. Yeah. There were many downs.
Yeah, it's been tricky.
Yeah. So you go ahead and tell about the downfalls.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing
not downfall in the sense that it's like
I think it's more like the mental stability side. So growing a business is intense, right? Like, especially when you're trying to. There's imposter syndrome. There's stress day to day. There's tired. Yeah, like. There's this concept of burnout as well, right? Yeah. Now, burning out, I think, can be looked at in a lot of ways. The reality is I try and tell myself it's not possible to burn out. But the reality is there's moments in my life where I feel like kind of like compressed, and I feel like I'm stressed out, and I feel like I just need a little bit of a break and I'll be good. And I think there's a balance here, right? So as we're sort of, like, it could be anything that happens. Or when we're launching, there's stress involved with the amount of stuff that you have to do, the tasks you have to do day to day, the responsibility you start taking on. Now we have a bigger team. There's salaries behind every person. Yeah. There's moments, where you can start looking at things like, okay, this is the income last month. I have this many heads on the team, blah, blah, blah. And you have to find a way to balance that. Otherwise, what you can do is that can consume you very quickly. Yeah. Because you're not always naturally in high morale. You're not waking up every single day like, hey, today's the day where I'm going to smash the light. You have a normal, we're not like robots. As in you have days like that. But I think what really helped in this journey was having somebody else on board. So you on board, I think it's helped out a lot in the sense of, example, when I shifted to Dubai, huge jump. Yeah, big. And in the mix of all of that, I had gone out of a relationship. Yeah, I had, which was going in more of a serious route, but it just didn't work out in that sense. But that sort of had an effect on you, like any human being. Yeah. Then you're moving country, that has an effect on you, like any human being. And then at the same point, you're ambitious. You have all these dreams and stuff that you're trying to push.
And then the business is still running at that point.
Yeah, business is still running this entire time. Yeah. And at the same point, behind it all, I was trying to help my mom and a lot of things. And then my mom's hip was deteriorating at the time. So I had this goal of I want to get my mom fixed, basically. I want to get her surgery sorted. So you've got all these goals and things like that behind it. And it can get very overwhelming very quick.
That not many people see.
Yeah. And that's what the bit that you're not showing on social media.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fun on YouTube if I'm like, hey, what's going on? Today we're going to build the Uber clone. But I'm also really stressed out. And it's like, no, you don't say that, right?
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is more for. We can showcase a bit more. So I would say it helps by having another person or having a team. That definitely helps. Being also open and human with your team. So like me and you, the amount of times we have this talk like all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like we'll be eating food and we just go into like 2 hours and we're talking.
Yeah.
And that's really valuable to me because not only like in some form of shape, it's like it's a form of therapy, man. Like you're talking to each other. You're expressing that, sometimes I overthink and I'm going off on one. Jay's like, Sonny, relax, come in.
Bounce back.
Yeah, like, reel it back in. It's going to be okay. We've got this plan. Sometimes it just takes you to somebody else to kind of zoom you out.
Yeah.
And that's helped out a lot. What's your sort of, what's your take on it? What have you seen in that space?
In sense of our communication and stuff.
Yeah, in terms of our communication, yeah.
Because I do feel like you get stressed a lot, like on things. Like you just it's as every human being, man. Like when you have this whole business and everything and responsibilities and all the personal matters that come into play, it really needs a helping shoulder, actually, I may say so. And I think it's good that I can come in and help at that point because without that help, I think it would have affected you way more. Than
I think stress is one word for it, but I think it's more. I think when you have so many ideas, right, that you're so many
overwhelmed.
Yeah, you're so many ideas that sometimes your focus is not clear. So stress is with anything, right?
Yeah.
Stress is gonna come go. Yeah, like I think if you're pushing hard enough in any direction, there's an element of stress involved. But I think it's when you've got so many things that you want to do. And then you've constantly got new ideas flowing in. I genuinely feel like that's the part where having somebody reel you in sometimes can be good. It grounds you, steers you back on direction. That helps out a lot. There has been ups in the company. There's been loads of ups. We've won, we've done well. It's that the thing as well is that naturally when you have a lot of ups, like I think there's two things I want to say. One, you start to get accustomed to that level.
You're
of
comfortable
high.
there.
Not even comfortable. I think you're getting used to highs.
Yeah.
So it's
that becomes your norm.
Yeah, that becomes your norm. So when you're not doing that much or you're not winning at that level, you start to feel like this kind of this need or this urgency for like things could be amazing, but you're like, but I didn't get the same high.
You're touching the peak,
Yeah, and then you get addicted to like a high. And in your brain, you're kind of like, so I think that's where this nature of constant challenging yourself, putting yourselves in these corners, like going into really crazy, stressful situations, like building an app in like a week or like, a few days to get that high again.
Yeah.
And that's why I find it can be a little bit of a slippery slope
where
you have to get a balance. And I think gratitude has really helped me appreciate and ground myself at times. So just being thankful for where you're at a little bit and just realize and zoom out and be like, okay, this is what we've achieved.
Yeah.
And this is how many people we've helped. And, and detach a lot of the other things away from that. Yeah. And try and get used to just like, that's what we should be grateful for.
Yeah. Honestly.
So it's been a road. Yeah.
Yeah. Because really like it takes a lot of even learning, I'd say, to like sustain the emotions that you get from the highs and stay grounded.
Yeah.
And then that comes with experience, and now you've had it. So it comes with experience, and now the next time okay, it's the same situation. Now you know how to handle it exactly.
Worth mentioning as well, ground yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So anyone who's doing what we're doing, find something that grounds you. Like for me, gym has been like if I didn't go to the gym, man, I don't think I would have made it to where we're at. Like as in, gym was a savior in a lot of ways for me, like emotionally, mentally, stability, like everything. Whenever I had a bad moment, gym, just go there, run, do something, hit the weights, like do something and get the energy out. And then physically you'll have a good, it's like impossible not to feel good after a workout. Like you'll feel some element of, I feel proud. Like I just did that,
Yeah.
And those things are very important. And even to the point of if you're not a gym goer, do something that just, you have some passion in. Like even if you can't find something, like don't have any shame in talking to someone. Like honestly, like those moments, especially in the beginning when we launched the company, I actually sought someone out to talk to. Every week I'd go see a therapist, and it was a very close therapist of mine. Like, and that was someone, and I really believe in this now. And as I've grown and my circles changed, you realize a lot of people at this level have people they talk to and have people they keep it mentally in check. Yeah. Even if it's directly not a therapist, it could be like now, honestly, my therapist I have two that I consider as therapy buddies. One is my barber. Yeah, every time I have a haircut, that guy and me have some deep conversation, and I feel like realigned. And my personal trainer. Those two people are the people that keep me in check. And obviously Jay. Jay keep me in check. Jay was like, "What about me?"
I'm offended.
So those things I think like really important. And obviously for me, it's always been my mom as well. Like if I ever have a moment where I just want to chat and just kind of ground to the core, my mom is the go-to.
Yeah.
So find figures in your life, or even something that you can ground yourself to. I have friends that do MMA. That's their ground. Leon that's his thing, right? Whatever it is, just find something, and make sure it's not attached to your business. Should be something separate.
Something really separate.
Yeah, totally separate. That way, when you're there, you can escape. Because you need to have. I don't believe in this whole like your whole life and 24/7 every single day hustle mentality. It's a bit too intense now.
No, man. Because even me, when I'm like, if I want to ground, I just go with my family. I go with Daisy. I go with Jade, and I spend time with them. Yeah. And this just grounds me, man. Like, it's just therapeutic for me.
Exactly. And then you feel fresh the next day.
You feel fresh the next day. You're all charged up. Ready to do the next thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It creates a gap, which is good.
Definitely.
You need a gap.
Definitely. So all of this has been like sort of like, again, all these things factor into what took us from like,
from a Google Doc
to all the way up to like literally a thriving kind of business.
But you also shifted to Dubai in the between, which also had a lot of like roadblocks.
Man, it was it's huge. Like you're shifting entire country.
Because people don't see that. Okay, Science just shifted to Dubai because he loves Dubai. That's it. So easy. He already runs a business. But no, the easy part is moving to Dubai. But the not easy part is the whole online business being shifted to Dubai.
Yeah.
That part nobody sees.
So look, here's the reality, right? Like there's a lot of things that are behind the scenes. There's taxes.
A lot.
Like, a big reason for Dubai, tax free. Like it makes things easy to grow. Like the reality is that you come here, you don't have to faff around with so many things. Like when I was in London, taxes, every receipt, keep it in check. Your accountants, you got this. It's such a block to growth in the beginning because you have no idea how to do this in the beginning. I was calling my account. I had no idea what questions to ask. I had no idea. But there's benefits to all of this, right? Yeah. You can leverage things. Well, like there's reasons why the rich don't pay tax, right? Because they know loopholes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the point is that it's all about educating yourself. Like doesn't matter if you like whatever skill you're doing. I believe that financial literacy is incredibly important.
Yeah,
and they don't teach us at school, but you should be taking courses to learn this stuff.
Absolutely.
There's so much free content. Mark Tilbury is amazing on YouTube. I recommend people check out stuff like him, right? And he's almost like a dad kind of figure on YouTube to a lot, where he gives a lot of advice, that kind of stuff. He has a wicked podcast as well.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like those things, I think you really need to kind of invest the time in. But yeah, they take time. Like all this stuff takes time. And from where you're taking time, you're losing time in other areas of your life.
Exactly.
Like, and don't be surprised if you find that, oh my God, I can't hang out as much as I used to hang out with people. Accept that's the sacrifice you kind of have to make. Yeah. Like you're not like doing, like if you're going to get it, you're going to get pushback from even like people close to you being like, well, like you're just not here anymore. You're not really there. And if you're really trying to push something, like, yeah, you can try and find a perfect balance, but there are going to be times where you're going to have natural pushback.
Yeah.
And that's just part of your journey, right? And then it's basically a case of like, now my health took a hit. Like, no, I wouldn't say health. My fitness took a hit when I first started the company. Now we've got momentum and we've got a team to support things. We've got systems in place that we're talking about, delegated, freed up a bit of time. Now I'm basically got my PT involved. And now I've taken health super seriously for the last 5 months.
Yeah.
And it's basically, and you see what I mean? Like you can, like, as long as your sacrifice is somewhat short term, and it's not like your entire life is going to be this way. Short term it out, but have a long term vision. So in the 10-year plan, that little hiccup was nothing. Because now my health's back, and now my fitness is back, and then for the next 10 years, that will just look like a little blip. You know what I mean? That's how you gotta look at it.
In the grand scheme of things, it's barely anything.
So always have your 10-year plan, as well as like, don't just look at like, I'm going to start a company and here's what I want to be in 6 months. You should always have a high level plan. In the back of my head, I know exactly what I want in 10 years. And then from that, you can break it down. 5-year plan, 4-year plan, as in not 4 year, but 10-year, 5-year. And then from there, you can start looking at higher level things, right? Because then that really will give you reality checks when you need it, right? If something doesn't go well, this week, but okay, we've got like, what's the 10-year down plan? Like we've got a lot of time, but like we need to keep moving forward towards it, right? Like if you just got goals of this month, this is, and that's it, right? And the next month you'll figure out a new plan. And
you're like, what the hell? Man?
Yeah, you're forever like you're hitting false peaks. Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? So those systems I think are really important for that, because no matter what you do, you still keep your things going.
Yeah. So getting back to the Dubai shift, how did the online business, the shift happen?
Oh, it was intense, man. Like,
oh god.
Stripe, you have to disconnect it. UAE has a bunch of different setups.
Kajabi, have to disconnect. We lost all our. I feel so bad. Yeah, we lost all our records in Kajabi. Yeah. Not like, for people who don't know, like we have all analytics in Kajabi, like how many people joined, how each product sold, how much money the product made, how many members are in the product. We lost all of it. Yeah. And that hurts when you have a business. That hurts.
As in, you know what? It was more of a pride thing. Yeah. Because like we built something from zero. Oh, and in Kajabi, every time you hit a milestone, they send you a pack.
Yeah.
So I was getting these little packs, like t-shirts, little badges, backpacks.
Yeah.
And it was like, you hit this goal, and you become a Kajabi hero at different levels, right?
Yeah.
Now, when we shifted country, it was like, you have to reset your metrics.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I was like, there's no way we can migrate. And they're like, unfortunately, at the moment, we can't do it. So what we did is we took a screenshot where we were at, and we have it in Notion.
Yeah.
And we keep that as a record of like, okay, we're here plus here.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that you shouldn't live in the past, but I think it's just a cool, great gratitude thing to be like,
man.
Every time you kind of lose sight of where you're at, or like you think, oh my God, I'm not doing much, you can kind of look at that and be like, all right, we're moving. You know what I mean? Like, and
that was one of the pinches.
Yeah, that was a pinch.
And then we had other things that we had to sort out here, and
like setting up the company. A lot of that, it's a lot of learning. And the cultural differences in an entire separate part of the world.
And even you living away from family.
Yeah,
that's the biggest.
You're solo. Like at the end of the day, you got to build a new circle here. You still always have your friends and stuff back home, but you have to find a way to adapt. You have to find a way. There's independence at home, and there's independence. Okay, so put it this way. I'm going to be real and call this out. Yeah. When you're living at home, it's a totally different independence.
Yeah,
you're not truly independent to when you're living by yourself. And then move country, then you're flipping independent. Like honestly, that's a whole nother level of independence. Being in the same country in another house is still, you're still independent, but you're connected.
Yeah.
Being abroad, that's different.
That's insane.
Like you've done it before.
I've done it twice.
Yeah, you've done it twice.
I've done that since I was in grade 5. I've moved out, and then I was in a boarding school, so I was away from parents. And then after I finished schooling, I went to UK, and again I was far away from parents. My parents in Dubai the whole time, so I was away from them for like my whole lifetime, basically. And now when I'm here, I'm working, I'm still away. I'm still have my own place. So it's just crazy, man. That's independence, I'd say.
Yeah. You're facing so many challenges.
So many, man.
Mentally, like you, because look, put it this way: in the beginning, there's hype. There's
you're like, I'm alone. I can do anything I want.
Yeah, and even like you're just abroad. You're just abroad. That kind of thing. Jay gave me some dodgy like that, but like you're just abroad. Like, but eventually it will. There are moments where it catches up with you, where you just kind of you miss home things. Like you sometimes want to go visit your family. You want to go chill with everyone. You know what I mean? But so there's a lot of things to address, and plus, like I said, the cultural differences. You have to adjust, right? Yeah. You have to adjust. You have to like completely like
it's
mature
a whole new place
in that sense. Yeah, but again, like I genuinely feel like this whole route is if someone was to move in this direction, say I want to start a new company, I want to do something like that, I will scream to you 1,000 times over, do it. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, like all of this part, like. There's not just a straight, I have an idea and I want to make it fruition. Like, I want to bring it to fruition. That's not the reality of how things actually work.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes so many learning things. Like just in this not even like 2 hours, nearly 2 hour conversation, We've covered like just loads of different random bits of tech, loads of different things. None of this we had a clue about in the beginning.
Nothing.
Yeah. You just have to basically run into the situation, prepare yourself as much as you can with the resources online, that kind of thing.
Get feedback.
And then just figure it out, adapt.
Yeah,
like adapt
and learn.
And then honestly, like whether you're moving country, whether we're starting another business tomorrow, whether we're doing something else, I genuinely don't fear any of it because I'm like, screw it. Let's do it. We'll figure it out. If we fail, good. If I'm failing at something, good. It means I'm in the right direction, not hard enough to know that, all right, and then I'll learn from that failure and be like, next time we can do this better. That's it. If I'm not failing at anything, then I start panicking. Then I'm like, I ain't pushing hard enough in the direction.
Yeah.
Whether it's the gym, business, whatever part of it is my life, if I'm not failing on something, I'm like, I'm just living in a comfortable space. And that, I think, is a dangerous place to be.
It's very scary.
Because the majority will live in a comfort zone. I believe if you really want to push yourself and live the damn life that I believe everyone should, you have to exit that comfort zone. And as you grow, it's easy to slip into it because you've got more luxuries, you've got more ability to actually go there. But you have to constantly put yourself in a distressing situation to grow. That's it. And that growth is important.
Yeah, we've grown a lot. And it's been through blood, sweat, and tears on every aspect we think of YouTube, business-wise, software house-wise. In terms of even sponsors on YouTube we've had. So many different areas, man, like Skillshare. Just all of these just come into one like single thing of like just the PAPAFAM. Yeah. That one word is so powerful.
That's it. And imagine 2 years ago, there was nothing truly behind the PAPAFAM word.
Nothing. Now, nobody even knew the word PAPAFAM.
Yeah. Now, if a lot of people will know the PAPAFAM as, a community on YouTube. But if you really look deep enough behind the PAPAFAM, even now the business is literally called the PAPAFAM. It's like the growth of it all.
They always ask, why name Papa? Why the name PAPAFAM? Why the name Papa Platinum? Why?
Reason being is because, so naturally Papa React came from me teaching React on YouTube. Yeah. So the fan base literally naturally called me Papa React. I always saw these big communities, amazing communities, like even Mr. Beast, all these great communities that people are like, a part of something. I always thought, okay, something which is awesome is to be a part of something. That it doesn't matter if, when you're doing something solo, it's cool. When you're doing something as a group, it's amazing. Yeah. So I thought, let's create a developer community that's different to any other one out there. Stack Overflow and stuff like this is not really like, it's just open source community. Everyone says the word, but it doesn't really mean much. Yeah. Like it's cool, but as in it's not accessible to a newcomer. Yeah. Right. So the PAPAFAM community came from the word Papa React, so Papa family. Yeah. So it just naturally was an advancement. And honestly, it just felt right. There was something about PAPAFAM that just felt right, and it grew and it naturally stuck.
And it's so crazy because in the PAPAFAM community, a lot of people when they join in new, it can be daunting because it could be like, I mean, generally, I'm not saying the PAPAFAM. When you join a community, it's like so daunting, like, oh my God, so many new people. Who do I talk to first? But in our community, it's like when somebody joins new, they just say hi and everybody, like, it's just like they know each other.
Yeah. It's a family.
And I'm not saying it because, it's our community and stuff, but it generally happened so many times like that. It's just like a family.
That's where I feel really proud of what we've achieved. Yeah. Because
that's the biggest
it's not
thing.
Papa community, it's Papa fam. Like, it's a family of people.
They know each other.
Yeah,
it's
like
so
people literally come in and they feel at home. They feel relaxed. They feel good. Like when they come into a coaching call, I literally, sometimes people don't have the cameras on. I'm like, turn your cameras on, that kind of thing. And people will come on and they're just so, you see them and they keep coming on these coaching calls every week and they're just a part of your family now. Yeah. Like I can literally name drop so many people from the calls, right? And they're just, every week they'll come and they'll turn up and they want to know what people are up to. They want to help people out. They want to share their wins. Like the first people they end up shouting to, even Jimmy put a wicked message up on the group.
I was just thinking of that.
Yeah. Like recently, one of our amazing students, like he had a win on one of his projects, and then he put up a picture of him, like super celebrating. He goes,
with a wine glass.
And the thing I love, he goes, "Sorry, Sonny and Jay, I had to share my excitement." And both of us wrote back like, "Don't be sorry, that is sick."
That is
like,
amazing.
Yeah, man. That's a family, Like,
and not just like strict sort of like we have rules in place and stuff. Yeah. We have rules obviously, but it's like not like so much of like, we just have it fun as well. Yeah. It's fun, it's learning, it's growing. It's amazing, man.
Exactly. That's it, man. That's what it's about. Like, that's what I'd say. like whatever anyone has, whether it's an idea or you want to bring something to reality, understand the reality behind it. There's a lot of work, period. There's a lot of work. There's going to be a huge amount of learning that you're going to have to do. There's going to be a lot of risk. There's going to be a lot of failure.
Yeah.
And the reality is that you're going to have ups. You're going to have the best ups of your life.
Yeah.
But you're also going to have the biggest downs as well.
Of your life.
Yeah? And you have to be prepared to accept that and be like, cool. But I also have one life. And my advice here would just be the worst thing you could possibly have in any of this. And it scares me the most. That's probably my biggest fear in life is being old and looking back on my life like, I have regret. Yeah. And having like a regret thinking I didn't take the risks that I should. What's the worst thing that's going to happen like to you right now? If you have this crazy idea, you went out and did it. Yeah. So, okay, you might lose some money. You might lose some time. You're still alive. You're still breathing.
And you still have other
try again.
Opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. Try again. Like what happens when you trip over? Get back up, carry on. Right. There's no different. Sometimes as adults, we can kind of go so far into putting layers in front of ourselves to justify not doing an action when really we call it the kindergarten mindset sometimes when we're playing with edits and stuff like that, where it's like, stop overthinking it, simplify it massively and just go to the absolute basics. Yeah. Right? Even in ads, we do this approach a lot where we're trying an advert out or we're trying something to reach an audience that don't know about us, right? And a lot of the time with ads is a lot of trial and error. But when we overthink it, we're like, we kind of, we paralyze ourselves. We're like, we freeze from like fear of, oh, this is going to be crap ad or whatever. When reality is just put it out. Like, do the thing, try it. If it doesn't work, fail, carry on next. Yeah. And that's the only way you learn. Like,
and the failure will teach you.
Yeah. And by doing this as well, that energy, you start attracting the right people, right? Before you know it, that question of how do I meet people? How do I meet mentors? Trust me, carry on this approach and do this and carry this energy. You'll start meeting entrepreneurs. You'll start meeting people in their own businesses. You'll start putting yourself in the right circles. Obviously, it's not going to happen by just sitting at home. You have to do the effort to do it, to get there.
You start with baby steps, right?
Start with baby steps, yeah. I did not think I'd be in Dubai right now, being surrounded by bloody amazing people all day long, doing the biggest and best. Like, if you asked me 2 years ago, I'd be like, Dubai? Like, really? Like,
with the growing YouTube channel that it's at.
I never would have thought. Like, especially when we go back to that first conversation when I'm walking on the road on the phone to you and you said, Sunny, imagine if I told you in 2 years you're going to be over there. Yeah. You got a software house. You got the YouTube channel.
You got 200,000 subs. You got
thousands of members in your community. Like this, that. You'd be like, but where to begin? Yeah. And then your adult brain kicks in and paralyzes you. Yeah. And you're like, I'd rather just go home and eat and watch a film.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? I don't want to
deal with all of this thing.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to deal with that. That's where the paralysis kicks in. You're like, okay, I'm going to stop myself from growing here. Yeah. Really strip it back and just start doing, like, honestly, the best thing you do is start taking action. Like, that's it. Start doing things towards that thing, because honestly, you think about it, you'll be an entrepreneur for the longest time. You'll never actually manifest a thing. Like, and I don't like to use that word because I think as a Gen Z, they kind of override that word a lot. But the reality is that, like, if you really just start taking baby steps towards the thing that you're trying to do, whether it's business, whether you're trying to start a new community, whether you're trying to launch your online digital brand, whatever it is, you have to do something. Otherwise, the thing's never going to happen. Exactly. It's going to be forever up here. And all the fears, everything that you're wondering is there. And there was a video once, and I think it's such a sick video, yeah. But it's like, it's this video of a person standing there. He's like stressed out, and he's like worried about everything. Okay. And then it zooms out, and then it's like, this is where like Jimmy is, for example. Yeah, and it zooms out.
The world is.
Yeah, and then it goes, there was war between this country. It zooms out, and then it keeps going out and out. And then to your problem is like this little speck on the universe, yeah. There's like a little tiniest little dot on the universe, yeah. And it's just like, it's just like, there's, you know what I mean? You could just start taking steps, baby steps. Yeah, just start moving forward. Like, the grand scheme of things, all those things are just a small problem in our head. And we're making it this huge problem. You just have to baby step it out and slowly break it down. Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful, actually. That's nice. Man. That's a good lesson that everybody should know, I feel.
Definitely. I think
on that note.
Yeah, I think on that note, it was a pretty cool.
Pretty intense, because this is the questions that a lot of people ask. How did you start the PAPAFAM? What do you use? This. So I think this answered pretty much every. Yeah, and we can't always address this stuff in like a 15-minute or hour conversation. It takes time. It takes a lot of things to kind of have a deeper conversation about this.
And of course, if anyone wants to reach out, ask us any questions, feel free, email us at team@papareact.com.
Yeah.
And if you do want to reach out for any development work, you can reach us at dev@papareact.com. I'm sure. It's Dev. Yeah, we've set it up now. Yeah. Nice. We used to do the old school Gmail, but we upgraded recently. Yeah. So you can reach us out there. But honestly, just hit us up at team@papareact.com if you want anything, apps, builds, or if you just want to talk to us, we're happy to talk. And as always, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. Don't forget. Yeah, it always helps the channel grow. And if you're watching this or hearing this on Spotify or any other channels, feel free just to do us a favor and click that little follow button. So that way it helps reach more people. All we're trying to do here is share our experience, help you guys out. So that way you can have, a better chance of success on your journey.
Exactly.
With that said, thank you. This is your boy Sunny. And
it's me, Jay. And see you in the next one.
That's it. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.